meeting with the Highway Safety Commission. I talked with some people at the DOT and decided that it's pretty much up to us to protect our people in our county. 80% of the accidents at this intersection are those trying to pull out onto Highway 4257 and go north. And 84% of those who do that are our county residents.
That's funny. That's not the ones I experience.
Well,
and I drive that road twice a day.
Right. And this is all from the DOT accident information. Now, I sat out there myself. And this is all from reportable.
In the 57 road that hit somebody, but
right. I sat out this intersection for a half an hour one day, and the DOT only has reportable incidents. The number of squealing tires, horns, and people arms out the window and hollering, you would run out of paper trying to document it.
yeah, those are local people.
The near misses are unbelievable. So what we're proposing now, or what I'm proposing, is, I don't know, can everyone hear me? You can see right here, this is our island. What we're going to do is we're going to move this island over to, this is the center of the road, and leave it elongated this way, extend it this way slightly. We'll have to remove this blacktop, re-pour that curving, re-pour the inside of the curving. New signage here along the highway and at the roundabout, and then we pave it. You know, probably an area from here to here. Now, being that this is in the state right away, the state has granted us permission to work in the state highway as long as this island comes up to the state spec. So included in that money is some funding for state engineering and okaying of the design. And there's a small contingency built in there. But I'm not looking at a big, just this. But what it's going to stop is the people who are going to try to go north from getting hit. They're either going to have to come here and go around the roundabout, or they're going to have to take Old Highway West. As was stated earlier, there's more commercial design coming. There's, as some of you may know, there's a community child care center going to be put on this road entrance. I would really hate to think that my wife or my daughter and my grandchildren or whomever or any of yours pulling out of here some night from this child care center is going to be the next one that's hit or killed on this intersection. And in the state's eyes, we're a few accidents away from them looking at this project. Well, if the next one is a fatality, how do we sleep at night knowing that, okay, we need 2 more accidents to make this happen, to correct the problem? Now, I know it's coming up later, but the state intends on resurfacing this section from the mill back to the roundabout this next summer. If they do that, that's considered a 10-year fix for them. The big issue with them trying to do a roundabout or a different design here is land acquisition. The state figures 2 years for land acquisition. If the land acquisition from development, planning, and actual installation is probably close to 6 years. So if they get this overlaid without addressing something here, I'm being real blunt, it's going to be 6 to 10 years before they look at doing something here. And that's too long. We can't afford that. I mean, we all have to live and work, and everybody knows everybody in this county. We need to do something now to help offset part of that problem.
Can I add something?
Sure, man.
I think part of the request too is that if you recall, part of what happened on County U and the corridor there and how they fixed that intersection there and they made it all look, if you go through that whole corridor now, it looks like it was planned and designed, right? And done that way. So part of our request too would be is that even we can close that off temporarily, but have that incorporated into their resurfacing next year. So it looks like it's part of the design. So you know how, like that said, instead of us having to scab it, If they could actually just do that as part of the project next year, that'd be even ideal in terms, I mean, we can still do something temporarily, at least to get it closed, but if they could address it, but then make it look as if it's part of the project, then it's even clearer in terms of what the intentions are. So that's also what's later on the agenda, is trying to get the state to actually work with us to make it part of that project. So that way it looks like it was part of the original plan of the resurfacing through that corridor. So it looks similar to the intersection of U in the same corridor. You can tell the difference when it's done as part of a project versus this being scabbed together in pieces.
One last question then. Right now, I think I interpret it this way. People are driving 5-6 hours on 4 lanes. They come to the bridge, goes down to 2 lanes. They come to the roundabout. There's first roundabout. There's no indication that we're not going back to 4 lanes. So everybody thinks when they get the other side of each of those roundabouts, they're having 2 lanes to work with again. And of course they don't. So we got people jockeying to get in and out. Same thing happens at this intersection. There may be nobody turning into Gordon, but they see a lane open up. They think they're gaining another lane. And of course, we're all fighting with each other, trying to avoid the idiot behind us that's wanting going 70 to get back into the lane. So with this remodel, are we removing that bypass lane, or is it staying there till the state redoes the road and then being pulled out?
You're talking right across from this intersection?
Yeah, that expansion of the second lane to go around the people trying to turn left.
Our work that, or the work that I'm planning or that we're requesting is strictly on our system.
So just at that, to make it difficult to turn left out of Gordon or turn left into Gordon.
You can turn left.
Well,
You
you'll be
can
able to
still turn left
okay.
as you do now.
Okay.
Nothing will change how
Okay,
you
so
can
then that's
operate.
not changing. So then you need the bypass lane anyways.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Todd?
Yeah, I don't disagree with what's proposed here. Just, I think part of this should be some fairly significant signage as you pull out of Culliver's, encouraging folks to take that old highway. And as people are coming down Gordon, also just a sign, it says, Highway 4257 north to get to not even take the bottleneck out of the intersection by sending them that direction. So maybe if a person saw the sign that says 42 north, that takes a left, that would take some of that pressure off there, because that's probably going to naturally increase the pressure on that roundabout also. So maybe some pretty significant signage there directing them to the old highway may help also. And that's probably the plan.
Correct. That signage all the way back to the west, up over the hill past Flanagan's and up into the hills to give them advance warning is also in the plan. I've also notified DOT that this is going to put more traffic volume on their roundabout in hopes that they would use that as kind of a regulator to help boost doing something here. So they are aware of it. And their DOT's traffic safety division is the person I've been working with and is also aware of the increased traffic that may be on or will be on that roundabout, either coming off Old Highway Road and coming on or going south to go turn around to go back north.
Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I start with my question, I really like what Mr. Engels said about maybe a sign when the 4-lane ends to say 4-lane over, or 2-lane only from this point. I mean, I never even thought about that, but you're absolutely right that in that. Yeah, if there could be signage when the 4-lane ends, like 4 lanes done, folks, I think that's a great idea. I'm wondering, do we have the ability to just barricade that today? I mean, not that we're gonna do it today, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, can we shut that left turn down now with barricades and just live with barricades until the state takes care of it next summer? I'm wondering, I think I'm hearing oh, we want to go do some curbing and do this and it has to be up to specs and all that, but then next year they're coming in anyway. Is the idea that we're going to do it so it meets the specs so that when they do the just the final asphalt, it looks like it fits? Or can we just live with barricades for now and a big sign that says no left turn? And then when they come in next spring to get their work going, then they do it. I don't know. Am I out of line? I don't know.
Well, there's 2 parts to that. One, barricades and barrels are absolutely an option with signs. It becomes very manpower intensive to keep the barrels and stuff in line. Excuse me. Also, to correct a hazard, we don't want to create a new one.
Understand.
So yeah, that was kind of our thought in the interim, maybe to do that. I have those cement parapet walls. Somebody comes and makes the turn and hits those parapet walls, and we put them there. Now we've created another hazard. Signage, absolutely. You know, with the storms we've had, they tip over a lot. We'd have to be manning them day and night. Winter season coming, they're going to be a nightmare in winter. And as far as the state incorporating that into their fix, as I said before, I'm all about us, you know, making a resolution that they incorporate it. My very honest opinion, and I hate to be negative, but I really don't see them making a change. They're committed to overlaying that road, and I will do what I can to change their mind, and I appreciate all your help on that. I've already talked to Joel Kitchens. I already talked to Andre Jacques. The state, the DOT operates on a very different setup and budget as we do. Those of you on the highway committee in the past or presently, you know how they do things. They earmark their money and then that's it. They tell us that they've got more dangerous intersections out there in this county. I don't believe it. I know they're going to put J-turns on 2 of them out south on the 4-lane. The only reason those are more dangerous is because the speed is posted at 65 and most cars are doing 75 or 80. So when there's an accident on those intersections, it's generally a fatality. Again, here, I would hate to see a fatality to finally make someone move to do something. I think we need to do something that's, yes, is temporary, but to be real honest with you, I think it's going to be here a little while before a major change is made. Now, the state could do some minor things out there with a recommendation and a little pressure that would complement what we're trying to do in installing I want to call a staging lane or a left turn lane, make a little longer passing lane and make it safer out there. In all honesty, that is about the only thing that they probably will do without a push from the Secretary of Transportation. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to be real honest with you as best of my knowledge.
Nissa?
Thank you. I don't think anyone who lives here questions how bad that intersection is. I mean, while you were sitting there, it could have been me making the hand gestures, telling someone they're number one. My only question is, you just wave. My only question is roughly how many on average accidents do you think happens there a year? I mean, you don't have to give me an actual number, but just, you know, round estimate.
I can tell you that since March through this last weekend, there's been 6.
How often is it fatalities? I'm not saying that any accident is good. I'm just more my own curiosity. I mean, I agree something needs to be done.
Last fatality was 2015, and that, from what I understand, they're thinking that the gentleman had a heart attack and had died as he entered the intersection. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hugh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Tad, thanks for your leadership on that. We greatly appreciate it. Once we put this in place for the left turn lane, the challenge we still have, you know, from what we talked about at the Highway Commission, there's 10 accidents for people trying to turn left, but then there's 6 for people trying to turn left off of the highway onto Gordon Road. And I know education is a big component of that. Along with trying to do some things like a dedicated left turn lane, which, you know, is maybe long odds for the state to do. But I would encourage a further discussion at the next Highway Commission to reduce traffic. I understand that sometimes the Gordon Road is used by by bay ship as a way to send trucks as an alternate to going through the city. And I would like to even reduce truck traffic and traffic from turning left onto that road, because, once we take that 10 down to something hopefully, substantially smaller, then we're still stuck with the next biggest bucket of accidents, which is people trying to turn left onto Gordon Road. Thank you.
Todd?
Yeah, two things. I trust this is a fall project or a 2022 project, if approved.
If the funds are approved, we're gonna do what we can to get it done before November. Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then relative to Hugh's question, it'd be nice if the trucks could go downtown, but the city's banished that. So that's the only street that they really can get down there. You can't go through 3rd Avenue or 4th Avenue to get truck. They've eliminated truck traffic from downtown.
Go ahead, Hugh.
Yeah, just for clarification, when they were pouring the concrete for for the new buildings on the south end of the yard, there were cement trucks going through downtown like a parade of elephants for months and months on end. And I don't think we're talking about that level of traffic bringing in steel and whatnot. It's more on an as needed basis. So I'm wondering if we can have a discussion with the city folks. A Harbor Road, that's right, that's a commercial road, and it's going through a roundabout. So there are things that can be done that way as well. Just reduce the traffic. And again, thinking long term with hopefully with the rezoning the Door County Community Daycare Center going on that road. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll go to the voter board. As passed, a 2/3 vote is passed by a vote of 21-0. Thank you. Resolution 2022-81, non-budgeted funds, purchase of emergency management vehicle. Dave?
Motion to approve resolution 2022-81 for the purchase of the emergency management vehicle. What this pertains to is that there was a vehicle to be purchased next year in 2023. There was money in the budget for that purchase in the vehicle replacement fund. There was 13,000 that was a grant that the department received this year and needs to be spent this year. So that, along with the 33,000 that we could take from the reserve, we would recommend moving the vehicle replacement to this year.
Any explanation?
Is there an explanation?
I think you did a really good job.
Okay. Because that
Go ahead, Dave.
administrative committee, I was led to believe they're like 2 years out in building these things. So is this a suddenly available one or what? That's what confused me when I was reading the agenda item.
This is not an ambulance. This is the director of communications.
Okay, I just
in
thought
the
it was
call
most of
center.
the vehicles were difficult. Okay.
Yeah, the ambulances are a 2-year wait. We do have a wait. I mean, it's been a year for the sheriff's vehicles, but that's not the same queue.
Any other questions? All right, we'll go to the voter board. That's passed a vote of 21 yes, 0 no. Resolution 2022-82, library reclassification of administrative assistant position. Dave Engelbert?
To approve this resolution, this topic came up at the joint finance admin meeting, and the recommendation was to approve the administrative assistant change and bring only that item forward.
Thank you. Is there a second? There we go. Okay, thank you. Questions? Any other comment you want to make? Okay. We'll go to the voter board.
Well, that was a voice vote.
Okay, yep. No money. By voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Sometimes we can do it without technology. Resolution 2022-83, use of ARPA FRF fund grants to nonprofits for health and human services programs and services. David.
With our plan that we approved back in February, we're recommending that up to $200,000 come from the $500,000 reserve, which the Health and Human Services Board could then provide some grants to the nonprofits that might apply for it.
Any questions on that one? We'll go to the voter board. Who? You. That's passed a vote of 21 yes, 0 no. Thank you. Resolution 2022-84, request the state of Wisconsin allocate funds for and move forward with improving State Highway 4257 and County BB/Gordon Road intersection. David?
Motion to approve that resolution. It's kind of a follow-up and similar discussion to what we had with the $100,000 budget amount to go to that intersection. And we're hoping that the state will heed our recommendation and help us out with the situation.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to add anything? Okay. Any questions on that? Is it on the board or on the voice?
Well, it ended up with Fisher as the motion.
Yes. That's fine.
That's voice vote.
Okay, by voice vote, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. There are no ordinances. Any special reports? None. New business? Any oral committee reports? Any review of committee minutes by anyone? Review of vouchers, claims, and bills. Announcements. Don't forget WCA Annual Conference, September 18th through the 20th in the Dells. Our next county board meeting is Tuesday, September 27th at 9 a.m. Yes, please.
Again, just for those that didn't turn in their sheet, there should be a little yellow piece of paper. This is for the retreat on the 1st. We're looking at starting at, you can show up at 8, but the actual meeting will start at 8:30 a.m. And again, also with the yellow sheet, we also put down a booklet. This is the draft budget. So you guys have some time to review. The intent of the retreat will be going through this book. So if you're looking for something to help review before you go to sleep, here's some light reading for you. So
Go ahead, Dave.
Just a quick comment that paging through this morning, there's something on the Eagle Tower. You want to, if you tend to not read that, take a look at it about halfway through.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fisher.
Transacted today, I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.